Hello and welcome to Return to Eberron, Cult of the Godseed. My name is Matt Nahat and I'll be your DM for today. We have with us some good friends that are all here to play some Eberron. And I think we've got one person that's going to be a tiny little bit late, but she'll introduce herself when she gets here. So we'll just go around the virtual table to our player for Don, Gordon Treeman.
Hello, my name's Don. I am playing the role of a great and powerful druid, champion of the wild and free at heart. I also have a thing for elk, I guess.
Thank you for that. And Silas.
Yeah, my name is Corey. I'm playing Silas Phoenix, and I haven't been here in forever because I had a computer issue, and that's all rectified now. And I'm glad to be back and see what happens.
We're glad to have you back, mate. It's great to see you again. And Bastian.
I am playing Bastion, the clockwork warforged cleric who is seeking redemption for past misdeeds.
Very good. And for now, Felice will be the last one, and Chris, who's her player, will also give us a very brief rundown about what happened last time, and that will launch us into today's game. Go ahead.
Great. Yeah, I am Chris Johnson, and I am playing Felice Kofi Jones. She is a student of archaeology out of Moorgrave University, and she is very excited today to have stumbled upon something very key to her thesis, potentially. So last session, we embarked on an expedition with a professor from Moorgrave called Ulina, who we met at a museum when we arrived in Stormreach, and we took an airship and then spent a couple days getting to this site that she wanted to check out. We met some giants. We gave them some goodies and found out that they're not such bad folk. And Felice used her knowledge of the Fae to release the trapped Fae King. And that's where we left.
Indeed.
Would you say that he was Fae King it?
But bump.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Indeed, but it doesn't seem that he was faking it at this stage. Indeed, we will basically resume the action as the faking has just been released from his bear form, dire bear form that he was in. And at that very same moment, Don, who was also forced into smaller bear form, will pop out into his normal form again. And he will greet you and introduce himself. He says,
Bastion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bastion will say, Morden's beard, it's another one! And he will swing to knock him unconscious.
All right. Go ahead. You're right next to him pretty much because that's where he was.
No!
I'm sorry, it's what he would do. But this is non-lethal damage.
All right.
Just to be clear, he's hitting him with the haft of the hammer.
All right. So make that attack, and being that Felice just released him from his prison. He is prone, so you will get that advantage. So you will actually hit him. So he opens his mouth and begins to talk, and Bastien whacks him. And he grunts. And he says, in a language that no one really understands. Are you the ones that imprisoned me? No one really understands. Anyone that has Elvish might get the word prison out of that sentence or that question. Anyone who doesn't understand Elvish won't get anything out of that. But he is still conscious, barely.
Bastion, what have you done? No! And I drop to my knees and like cradle the king's head and try to help him.
The issue is that you are still over in the
order.
ruins, and he
Oh, that's right.
and he is. Let me just shrink his picture down here.
That's
he
right.
is about here. So
I'm not seeing, I think, the right.
all right.
Oh, maybe I need to refresh.
It's okay.
Hang on.
No, it's okay. It's me. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, maybe.
Like, see his nose? It's all
There we
crooked.
go. That's right. I'm up there. I forgot about that. Okay. Okay, well, I still scream.
No, you still scream. Ah! Stop! Alright. What's everyone else doing?
Hey, lass, I'm not killing the bear thing. Just shutting him up before he casts another spell.
I mean, do bears even cast spells?
Well, he had spell-like effects, I guess.
Yeah, bears don't have those either, though.
So, Bastian's had his turn. Felice is on her way, shouting out, please, no.
Don feels that things are fairly well balanced between Bastion and Felice. We have all aspects covered between the two of them. Let's see how this plays out.
Alright.
As a play to my neutral characteristic.
Very good. Lana seems a little bit out of it while her player is still on her way. Let's ask you this then, Bastien. How intent are you on knocking the Fae King unconscious?
Very intent.
All right. Well, you will be able to do that when
Like, on one hand, he's the Fae King, but on the other hand, to him, it was a bear that was trying to kill everyone he knows that suddenly turned into the shape of a man, and it's like, we're breaking it down. It's changed forms. Hit it in its weak spot.
That's
No,
fair
are
enough.
you crazy? Don't hit him anymore.
Well, it's pretty much you get to the Fae King Felice, but it's too late by the time Bastien finishes the job. However, you do know that Bastien's not going to kill him outright. The last thing that the Fae King says while he is conscious is the word Druakim, which is his name, but no one knows that.
Not even me.
Well, do we toss him into the honey pit now? Don says with a shrug. Also, has anyone seen that giant child around? I didn't see him during the fight.
No.
I
There has been no sign of this giant child.
There was a pile of bones. Maybe
Indeed.
its remains are there.
Yes, you could go and investigate the pile of bones.
Bastion leans on his hammer and spits on the king's corpse. Body.
Body.
It's a body.
It's a body. Very good.
What a fight! So go down in the records.
Yeah, I think most of you are at least a little bit injured after the battle.
That was a close one. We barely made it through.
Indeed.
It was clawful circumstances, the way it just leaped across the chasm.
So
Well, we just gotta be ourselves, and we can see through anything.
absolutely.
Gather around, friends. And Bastion will begin casting a prayer of healing.
Perfect. Alright, so you can cast...
Well, Don's not injured, so he's gonna start searching up around where the bear started out to see maybe if some of those bones are from the giant child.
Alright, bones are over here.
Felice says to Bastion, so did you include him in that healing?
Should I? He's not dying.
You realize I'm pretty sure he's the Fae King. And I just released him and now he's unconscious. Like, I need to talk to him.
If anything, we need to see if he knows where that giant child is.
Fair enough. I'll include him in the second prayer, but I am on my last legs. And if we are to fight him again, I want to be at full strength.
I think if he... I think we're going to be okay, but I need a chance to talk to him.
Bastion
Thank you.
kind of sparks a bit. Gears grind down gears.
So Don can make me an investigation check on those bones. Knowing what you're looking for, I'll give you advantage.
Oh, right. Investigate those bones.
Don't need advantage.
Big one.
You know, kick through some of these bones, and there are definitely the bones of a young giant amongst them.
Well, let's pull the ones that I'm pretty sure about aside. We'll bring that back.
Yeah. Yep. You can bring them back. Bastion's prayer of healing goes out to everyone within. I think it's within range. So I think it's like 30 feet or something like that. So, few people anyway, and you are including the Fae King.
That'll be on the second prayer.
I'll be on the second prayer. Alright, for now, Bastion has at least said yes, he will include the Fae King, so you will be able to talk to him as soon as he comes into consciousness.
So what type of...
Go ahead.
Sorry,
No, you're
didn't
right.
mean to interrupt.
You're right, go ahead.
So what type of questions do you want to ask this king of the Fae? Are you sure he's a king? He just has plants growing out of his head.
I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% positive, but from what I read up there and some of the things I've been studying, I'm pretty sure that is who he is. Plus, now Matt, you said we couldn't understand him, but I speak Fae, so is he speaking like a dialect of it that I don't know, or something older than what I've learned, or would I have understood him?
Right. So you've got Elvish and you've got like Sylvan.
I got Fae.
You've got Fae.
Whatever that is. I wrote Fae. I put Fae on my character sheet. Whatever that.
So,
my study.
Right. In that case, you will understand like 90% of what he says.
Okay.
It's not going to be quite 100% because he's speaking a very ancient dialect.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And so you're able to get, you're probably able to get enough words that you can make up the meaning of it, but it's not like the whole sentence. So you're hearing kind of like a pidgin English version of what he's saying, I suppose. Okay. He's speaking eloquently, but you only hear the guts and the meaning of it, and not the whole picture. But you heard him effectively say, "Are you?" Well, ask the question. Are you my prison keepers, basically? And I am Druakim, King of the Fae. So you would have heard him say those words before he was knocked unconscious.
Okay. Then I'd like to redact a little bit of my response to Bastion and say, yeah, he said he was. And not only that, he's trying to figure out who imprisoned him. So I don't think that we're in any danger, since we ought to be able to assure him it wasn't us.
To the original topic, Don will reply from across the room. Well, I've got plants growing out of my head. Am I a Fae King?
She laughs at you. Certainly not.
Does anyone have any manacles or rope?
I hardly think that will be necessary.
He's Fae. Fae are like the things you don't trust. They're the tricksters of the world. He'll probably steal your soul.
I give you a very
like an acorn
scowl. They're my ancestors. And who else?
I'm so sorry.
In this party? Anybody besides?
I don't believe anyone is Elven.
Okay, so
not anyone that's there.
Okay, so
yeah, Silas has some Elven in his blood there somewhere, but he's currently not in the room. He will be in a minute. But...
Well, Bastion, I don't have any manacles or rope on me. Well, I might have some rope, but there's this pit with the bees that came out of. I smell some honey coming there. We should cover him in honey.
We don't want him to end up stung.
We're probably the ones who'll end up stung. He'll be okay. They'll just carry him back to the hive to eat or something.
Are there more of them? And Bastion shudders.
You don't think so. You're pretty sure that the bear conjured them, for want of a better word.
Here's an idea. What if we gather the honey and then sell it to the giants? I bet honey's just as rare as cheese.
You'd probably be right.
That's a great idea. Why don't you get right on that, Bastion?
I'm casting here, girl.
Does anyone have a bucket?
I'm sure you all
Can we use a story point?
You don't need a story point.
Sorry. Wrong game.
Someone happens to have a portable hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lana, you have a portable hole. Why don't we just take everything out of it and fill it with honey?
Hey, not
That's
to
how it
mention
works,
that
right?
No. I'll and she's like rolling it out like, we're not doing that. I got stuff. And she's going in and she'll toss out a few random jar majigger things.
Yeah,
Hey, wouldn't we have empty potion bottles
yeah,
from any healing
Yeah.
that we've taken?
absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
Maybe the Giants would have something more their size.
it's quite possible that they would. Yeah. I mean, it didn't take you very long to get here. I think it was like an hour or something that it took to get to this cave from where the giants live. So you could potentially go back there.
And does anyone know why he's the king? All I know is I hit him really hard with my hammer, and he turned back into a Fae.
Well, Felice would have some idea, at least of what she knows about Fae nobility in the now. She probably doesn't know as much historically. She knows a little bit historically, but he's millennia old. This is he's this is not even close. Thousands of years. So she would be able to tell you at the very least that Fae Kings generally are not elected. Generally, they are the most powerful of the Fae, and generally there's a trial that goes that is undertaken, and it's fairly full on. It takes many years for a Fae to prove that they're strong enough to be the king, and if there's already a king or leader in place, because sometimes there is a queen depending on which generation we're talking about. So it's not purely just men either. It's really autocracy in the sense that it's the most powerful, and it's the people that have undertaken these trials, which again take many years. And if there's already a monarch in place, if there's already a king or queen in place, then and if it's a challenge, then they have to fight. Generally, that's not a physical fight. Generally, it's a magic battle. Because Fae aren't, well, Fae Kings, and Fae in general aren't really known for their martial prowess, generally, with some exceptions, but generally it's the wisest and most powerful that rule. So that's what Felice at least would be able to tell you. Certainly they're not elected. So during the millennia of Fae history, there's been both good and evil kings and queens because of this. They're being that it's the most powerful that rule. That lends itself to all manner of alignments, for want of a better term. So that's the snapshot.
Duels is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate of the masses, not from some kind of gladiatorial ranking system.
Dawn, maybe you know. I hit it hard with my hammer and it turned into a king. What happened? Does this happen to you if I hit you with a hammer when you're a bear? Should I be hitting you with a hammer?
If you hit me with a hammer, I'm going to hit you with a bear.
I released him. It was just coincidence that you hit him when it happened. I mean, Bastion, come on. I was up there and there were all these runes and stuff, and I just, took care of it.
You're telling me that a king who's been here for who knows how long, eating who knows what,
Young giants.
was trapped here by something that you undid in a couple of seconds?
Well, yeah. And I kind of pull myself up and square my shoulders and look all proud.
All right, as you're looking proud, we'll go over to Silas, who is on his way here as we speak. You are making your way through the forest. You are about a day behind the rest of the party, and their trail leads fairly directly along the path that I've placed you on here. And as you look around, you see further down here that there is signs of all of the foliage of these trees singed and burnt. And your friends definitely walked this way. Also, over here, you see an egg-shaped object. It's green. It is about 5 feet tall, and it has all of these intricate runes that are etched into it, and all around the egg are these like silver beet-like leaves that are about 10 feet long, that are coming out of the ground, that are holding this egg-shaped object in place.
Right. All right. Well, Silas would be strolling along and come upon this and be looking at it with the eyes of a person that's been trained in many different disciplines. And he hasn't forgotten all these things, but some of them he just doesn't have access to any longer. And he looks at this egg, and it's 5 feet tall, so it's a little shorter than he is because he's not a very tall man.
Yeah.
And there's a runes on it. Is there? Can I look at these runes?
Absolutely.
Okay. What type of thing would that be, sir?
What languages do you know?
I know Common, Elven, and Thief Cat. Because my mom's a thief.
All right. You don't know. You don't know what it says. In fact, as you look at the runes, you're fairly certain that it's not a language. Like 95% sure it's not a language. None of the runes really repeat. This object is 5 foot tall and egg shaped, so it's quite large. But you're looking and you can't actually see a repeated rune. That's a lot of runes.
See what I did?
Yes. Are you trying to be quiet?
I am. Yes, as much as a person that's covered in as much metal as I am can be.
Make a stealth check.
But actually, he does have the boots of Elvenkind still.
All right.
So
Well,
he is
make a stealth check with the boots of Elvenkind, then, which is at advantage, I believe. Right.
Yep.
No one can hear the steps you step on. They just hear your metal armor creak and crack as you walk along.
It's a very contradictory thing.
It's elven secrets.
22.
I am completely invisible. I am moving entirely too slow to be observed.
Exactly.
All right. So you detect magic. So okay. You don't sense magic. Not in the area around you within 30 feet. But something on the edge of your senses would sort of I guess, alert you to the fact that some of the rocks over to your left, over here, aren't entirely stable or still. There's just it's almost like you don't see movement, but you feel movement.
All right, can I roll a perception check, please? Sir?
Absolutely. Yes, you see this camouflaged being. You can't tell what it is because it's very camouflaged, but what you can tell is that it is breathing.
Okay.
Something is breathing. It's pretty large as well.
Right, give me just 1 second. Oh, see, it doesn't matter. All right. I was gonna say it's I could use that with my inquisitive stuff, but
I
not a big
will.
deal.
Okay, I will show you how big it is.
Okay. Yeah, I have eye for detail, and it would spot hidden creatures or objects.
All right. Well, you see that.
Oh.
It is. It is breathing, but it is currently asleep.
All right. That egg is in the ground. It's part of the.
It's being held up in place by the silver beet-like leaves. So it is. You could take it out of the silver beet-like leaves.
Mm-hmm.
But it's.
But it looks like it's probably very heavy.
Yeah. It looks like it's protected there.
Okay. I would like to. I've been walking with my shield. I do it all the time. You know what I mean? He actually uses that much more in even weapons these days. His holy symbol is on the shield, and he starts thinking of the White Phoenix, and he's concentrating on the egg at the same time, and he prays for guidance to the White Phoenix to maybe give him information about what he's seeing in front of him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's you can do with it what you want.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I need to do here, and then I'm gonna walk as slow as I can.
So the things that you would get when you ping the White Phoenix are: 1, this is not evil.
Okay.
2, this is not natural.
Okay.
And 3,
Can I just ask a question instead? Does he perceive that there's something inside of it? Is this a dragon egg?
It's an egg of this creature.
It is? Okay.
That much you don't need the White Phoenix for.
Right. I very respectfully look at the egg. I put one hand on it, say a prayer to the White Phoenix again, that this creature will live a good life and a long life, and he very quietly will make his way away from where that creature is, and up the path.
All right. I will need another stealth check as you proceed.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is your movement? Move your movement, I suppose.
Move my movement. Okay. I don't know what it is. I think it's just 30 though. Yeah, just 30. So each one of those boxes is 5.
Yeah.
What is this is the egg.
Yeah.
What is all that stuff around the egg?
They're just little rocks and things. It looks like they've been organized, but not in a, you know, specific manner. It's like they've been gathered here and placed there. Crudely, albeit.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going around these bushes and around the egg, and I will end up here for 30 feet. Because I'm not trying to go through this area because I don't feel comfortable with that.
Oh yeah.
But this isn't so wooded that I can't walk like over this way and walk across, right?
No, you
And
can
then,
go absolutely go through there. Yeah.
you know, and then go this direction. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
I want to put some distance between me and that creature because if that's its young, it's not gonna want me to mess with it.
right,
And
and it will detect you with that 16 stealth, and it will take flight and fly only half its speed, which is 30 feet. So 5, 10, 15. Yep, he will fly straight over you to about there, and on his way, he will breathe fire on you. Make a dex save.
okay, there it is.
Alright, you succeed. So you take half of 31.
And I take 0
You take 0 because you're a rogue.
because of Shield Master.
You got your shield.
Yeah. So I get my shield up above me, and it looks like the fucking scene in man, what's that movie with the dragon when she makes that dragon scaled shield thing? It's so fucking cool. Anyways, yeah, and it's just like all around him. It's fucking hot as hell, and he looks up at the creature afterwards, and he's not backing down because that's not Silas Phoenix.
Yeah. So things that you can see, or you know that you did see, this ford here, you can see divides the path. To get across there takes an action, and it's either going to be a leap across or a balance across the stones. But either way, it will take an action to do. You believe that if you got to the other side, or off the map at least, that this is the area that this creature is living in, and it wouldn't pursue you. But you are where you are, and it's your turn. As you hear it cry out, and an answering cry comes further from the south.
Okay.
You don't think that it's the only one.
Yep. Yeah. This is Mama and Daddy's coming.
Yeah.
So, yes, Silas will not at all become aggressive towards this creature.
Yeah.
And no, that's not that. I'm just looking at spell. Sorry.
You're right.
Right now let's do anything. I'm not afraid of it, so that's good.
So those of you that are in the cave, have a think about what you would like to do next, as we'll be coming back to you in a minute here.
So it's in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is like, let's see, 15 feet in the air.
All right, I am going to take a double move as an action, and then I'm going to try to get over here, and I am going to do the bounce thing. He's very dexterous.
Alrighty.
And it's just what he does. So if I get to, I gotta change corners. So if I get to here, which I can to within 60 feet, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of, I kind of get going. I do say, how I'm not here for anything that has to do with you. You take care of that baby. It will be the take care of your baby. And Silas in that moment thinks about his family and that he hasn't seen them in weeks and just has a moment as he's trying to walk across the that area.
All right, go ahead.
Is that another save or is this like an
It'll either be acrobatics or athletics, whichever.
Yeah, actually.
All right, yeah. So you absolutely easily make it across, but that's your whole movement this round.
Yeah, because
So it will fly back over.
yeah, I can get off of the map. You know what I mean? In theory.
Can you?
Well, yeah, because I was in this square here, and to where I'm at right now is
Minus
49.
40.
But did you get the egg yet?
I'm not touching that damn egg.
So, yeah, as you make a run for it, the one that you were near sort of swoops over you. The other one sort of comes around. You see it off in the distance, like about where it is now, and you see them wheel around and not pursue you as you get off the map and away from that area.
And then once again, when he's on the other side and out of clear danger of this, he takes his shield to his body and just gives it a very respectful nod and says another prayer for the for the young.
Cool. All right. Very good. So effectively, then, you can make it to the monument, and I'll bring you into the conversation when seems appropriate, because we haven't yet taken a long rest. But yeah, you'll be at the monument when we come out of the Bear King's lair. So yeah, we'll come back to you in a minute. For those of you that are in the King's lair, what are we doing and saying and what's not?
All right,
Well,
so
I just gathered up the child giant bones. We're talking about gathering some honey, maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, you can gather honey.
Lana would be all over that. Easy peasy.
It's
She
a
got
matter
that.
of just repelling. You just tie a rope around one of these pillars or whatever, and then rappel down. All of the honey is down these holes, chasms. So you can. I don't really need a check for that. If you want to cast spider climb, that's absolutely fine. But I'm assuming there's ropes, and ropes have a DC 5, so yeah, so you can rappel down, gather some honey. So anyone that's gathering honey, you can make me survival checks to determine how much you get.
all right, Bastion will cast inspiration onto Dawn's check before he makes his own.
Alright. Wow. You guys are going to get a lot of honey.
Oh yeah, honey.
38,
Well, of course we're going to get a lot of honey. Lana's a beekeeper.
37, 45.
That actually does make some kind of strange sense.
Yep.
I was born for this.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm an acrobat. I can rappel down that rope. I can collect a lot of honey. Like 19 for her acrobats and 18 for her survival. She's doing pretty good. B-sense.
Oh my god. That's...
I need those diamonds.
58,
I need those diamonds,
62.
DM.
Okay. So, you can fill whatever containers you have. You got a total of 62, so you can, as long as you've got containers, you could effectively get 62 pounds of honey. But if you don't have containers for that, then you'll have to reduce it.
So Dawn has 2 hands and a mouth. I do like the idea of filling all of the available space in Lana's portable hole with honey, though, especially since it's not in a container. And
You know, though, to be fair, Lana thinking about it would be like, Fleece, do you have room so I can transfer stuff to your? Because for her, she can clean out the portable hole.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot in there because we unloaded most of that, stuff when we were in
That's
town.
pretty much what Lana's doing then. She and Felice transfer, like, pulling up clothes and like here and other equipment, but mostly clothes. And
Yeah.
once it's empty, she's like, okay, there's nothing else in here amidst all of this stuff. Like, holy cow, I did not realize I had this much stuff. Well, I guess technically I packed lightly, but anyways, when it's empty, she'd be like, okay, let's do this.
So each of the people that rolled, you would have each have at least 5 empty vials from your healing potions. So you can have like 5 pounds each from that. For Lana, you will actually find a bucket that Ren put into the portable hole, which will hold 20 pounds. So
nice.
With
You'll hear Lana as she's transferring things at one point go, guys! Tosses a bucket up.
So that's like 40. Yeah, that's like 35 pounds with just potion vials and the bucket.
That's a lot of honey.
Yeah.
I just had another thought though on that. I don't really know how much another 30-ish pounds of honey not in a bucket biomajigger. But I guess I have a feeling Lana would be looking around and suddenly starting to think about like, I don't know how practical this is anymore, because like it's like in her head it's like, what if it's just like this 2-inch layer at the bottom of the remaining honey? Like, she's gonna spend her time using prestidigitation to like make sure it's nice and clean, but she's just kind of like suddenly having this thought of like, how are we gonna get this back out? This, guys. So
you need some
like, we might just want to cut our loss with we got a big old
35 pounds is a lot of honey.
Yeah.
All right, so that's cool. You can do that. I think, well, Felice is definitely distracted with reviving the Fae King, which you can do. So
healing 10 points, everyone, including the Fae King.
All right. Ulina will obviously sort of come and oversee this, I suppose. She is just, I don't know, a little bit speechless. She's like, and especially when Felice starts telling her or telling the group that this is an ancient king of the Fae. She doesn't really know what to say. She's like, that's not what I expected. So Felice, what do you want to do or say with this king?
I would greet him in my best Fae, like do my best to greet him in Fae. Obviously, I realize he may not entirely understand me since he speaks a much more ancient dialect. But
Right.
yeah, I'll try to. Your Highness, it's an honor to meet you. Are you okay?
He narrows his eyes and furrows his brow as if he's concentrating really hard when you're speaking. And he sort of looks at you and he says, "You are one of them, aren't you?"
One of who?
My bride's assassins.
No. We just got here and you were a bear. And well, I worked the runes and well, now you're not a bear anymore.
Yeah, he says, "What is this dialect you speak? It hurts my ears."
I'm so sorry, Your Majesty. It's the only Fae dialect I know.
He waves his hands and you start to speak perfect Fae, ancient Fae. Oh, that's better.
She says, I think it's been a long time since you were in that bear form, maybe, because I don't understand most of what you say.
Years come and years go. What year is it?
And I give him the year. I already forgot what the year is.
It is 1003 YK.
1003 YK.
He's like,
Sir.
YK. What is YK?
What is YK? Indeed. What is anything?
He has no idea. So it's kind of like someone from BC, right?
Yeah. Being explained
what AD is.
And Elise will do her best to try to explain what it is.
He's like, that would mean that more than 10,000 years have passed.
Felice's jaw kind of drops, and I knew it had to be a long time, but I had no idea it was that long. No wonder I haven't really studied languages from quite that far back. And I would tell him like what era approximately the Fae that I'm familiar with is from.
He says, the Fae you know stole my crown. They stole my seat, and they imprisoned me here.
Why? Did they not like you or something, or?
I do not know. And he inelegantly lets out a burp. And he says, "Oh, what is that? I don't know what I taste. It tastes vaguely humanoid. What have I done?"
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I think while you've been in bear form, you've been eating maybe baby giants?
What?
Maybe people too. I'm not really sure. All we found are bones.
What have you done, Simba? Run away and never return.
He's like, who is this Simba?
Maybe aren't. Lana's like, seriously?
It's only the biggest play to have come out in the last 50 years. Thank you, Fae King.
my name is
Thank you, Don.
Drew Akeem.
What does your name mean, sir?
Well, as with many Fae names, there are many meanings, depending on who gave it and what time and what phase of the moon it was. You know this to be true. A lot of symbols in Fae are kind of like the Japanese and Chinese names, where when you're introducing yourself, the symbols that are in your name, you have to sort of describe what that symbol means for you, rather than for other people, because sometimes, like maybe the symbol for evening might mean first dark, or it might mean like midnight, or it might mean just before dawn. So there's like all of these different like variations on things, and so he would be able to tell you that his name is basically um, uh, third male of that was born to his mother, born at at the break of dawn, and it was in the month of Therendor, and the moon, the moons, the closest moon at that time would have been Dalcor, and that rings some bells for Silas, if not others.
Is he speaking in common at this point?
No, but
Wait,
she can
to me?
Translate, and I'm assuming that Felice would.
Absolutely.
Wait,
Okay.
that rings a bell to Silas or to Felice?
To Silas. Silas absolutely knows what Dalcor is.
And I'm there at this point?
Actually, sorry, no. But you will be in a second. When we get out, it'll ring bells for you, because she's good. Yeah. So,
I just want to make sure.
but maybe some people out here know what Dalcor is. Dalcor is the region of dreams. It was banished from the world many, many thousands of years ago, because the demons all basically came from there, and basically the dragons and the giants and so on all sort of got together and sort of banished Dalcor, so that it would no longer be able to be conterminous with Eberron, which means that the gateways between the two are broken, and it is in the far reaches of space. Yeah.
Well, my name is Felice. These are my friends, Lana, Dawn, and Bastion. And this is Ulina. She's from the local museum. She's a professor. And, well, we came to help her and found you.
The more he speaks, Even though I don't really have the right words, the more kind of a bit crazed he seems. He doesn't truly understand where he is or what's happening. He keeps on phasing back from what have I eaten to what's going on. He asks your name several times. He just doesn't seem to be of his right mind. You're pretty sure that his imprisonment has, well, being that it's for so long, has degraded his mind, and you think that that could be extremely dangerous on the level of someone like Denethor from Lord of the Rings. You think if this went on, and if you let him keep this frame of mind, that he's just gonna degenerate, and he'll even, like, as you're standing there, he won't lash out necessarily to try and hurt you, but he sees something that isn't you, and he lashes out, and you have to sort of jump out of the way as he sort of lashes out at whatever he's seeing. And you can all sort of tell, even though you're not fully understanding what he's saying, that he's kind of losing the plot. He's losing what's left of his mind, and you don't think that there's a lot of his mind left. If you were to ask him any questions, he can answer you, but you think that the longer that you wait, the less likely it is that he's going to be able to help you in any way or answer any questions in any way. So now would be the time, and you need to get this guy help. You don't know how, really. I mean, but maybe, I don't know.
Did you get all your questions in yet, Felice? I think it's about time for us to break him back to get squished by the giants for crimes against giant kind.
Yeah.
Soon. Your Majesty, can you tell me anything about the connection between the Fae and the elves?
Yes. He says there are many elves. Which elves do you speak?
Well, that's a good question. I guess I would look to my own ancestors of elf, but I'm a little. Chris is a little educated maybe on all the various elves in Eberron.
Right. So I guess he would sort of describe the elves that he's aware of, which he would name the Calibrin that drew on shadow magic and became conjurers and necromancers. He would name the Drow, who were the ancestors of the Umbragen who fled into the depths of the earth and populated the underground. He would name the High Elves, who are the descendants of the kings of the Fae, kings and queens of the Fae. He doesn't know the Wood Elves, because that was after his time, but he understands that there might be more. And yeah, they're the main ones that he would know. Yeah.
Well, it's believed by many that our magic, that elven magic, comes from that connection. Somehow, where your an ancestor of all elves, but I haven't been able to find the proof or the final key.
Right, so he would be able to tell you very briefly, because I don't want to rest on this for too long.
No.
He would be able to very briefly say it's not the magic of the Fae that is preserved in the blood of the elves. He says it's the I'm trying to find the right word. It's the properties of the blood that stays from generation to generation. Some might call it magic, but it's not magic that keeps us from being sleepless. That's a property of our blood. Many don't understand that it's not magic, it's a property of our blood. That property, along with, anything that's in the Fae ancestry, that stays in the blood. Elves of different kinds have called upon magic from different sources. Some have used sylvan magic. Some have used dragon magic. Some have used giant magic, though that was forbidden. Some have used necromancy, like the Calibran did. And he says, if you have magic, it could come from any of these things. I sense a Fae connection in you, he says. I think that the magic that you call is potentially from there. He says that I don't know how deep that connection is, from what I can see, what I can feel. He says if you were to tell me more about what you experience, maybe I could tell you more. But he says, you're asking an awkward question, because the blood that is passed, the blood properties, that's not magic. Yeah, so that's the moral to his story.
Yeah.
People consider it magical, but they don't fully understand what that means. And he says, any elf who's alive now in this generation could call upon any different magic, and it might have no connection to the Fae, but their blood has connection to the Fae, and the blood is the key.
That's fascinating. Sir, maybe we should get you out of here. Let's find you some proper food, and you're going to need some rest, and see if we can get you some help. You've been trapped as a bear for so long that can't have been good for you. Let's get out of this cave.
Yeah, good plan. All right, he'll come
But
with.
the honey.
You've already got 35 pounds of honey.
Bastion just has some smeared all over his lips.
All right. So if we're all good, we will go back to the Colossal Monument and meet with Silas, who is arriving as we arrive. So yeah, Silas, you haven't seen this place before. Real quick, let me detail what you see. and refresh the others. So this number 7 here, the body is the body of a giant statue, which is 300 feet tall, and its head is lying on the ground, partially covered with other stone. There's an observatory, which is number 1. The half-submerged bridge, which is number 2. There is, let's see, the colonnade, which is just a bunch of columns. Most of them have crumbled and stuff, and they're all sort of like lining the way. And there's a bunch of stone giants walking around that mostly seem like they're just hunters and gatherers, and they're fairly peaceful. Only 2 or 3 of them at a time have weapons, and that's because they've also got whatever their weapons are generally used to actually cut down trees and dig. They're I guess almost not weapons, but they could be used as weapons.
More of a tool than a weapon.
Right, but they're giants, so they're big.
Yeah. How big are these giants?
They're stone giants, so they're like about 17 to 19 feet tall.
Unfortunately, me and Mary are very aware of giants. Yeah, it's he would, as soon as he came around a corner, be very leery though, because everything you've ever heard is that, just like most dragons, you're probably going to want to run away from a giant.
Yeah, they seem very placid, and certainly you see the party, including Lana and Don and these people that you trust and know. Well, you might not trust Don, but people that you know just walk boldly straight into the camp. They don't even blink.
Okay. Now, I would be looking around. I'm going to detect magic again, for the reason that I know that most of the people probably have magical items on them, and I may be able to detect where they are at this point.
Okay. Well, yeah, you detect magic coming from the party, and you certainly detect magic coming from both the stone head, the stone head, and also from inside the building. The stairs go down into.
Right.
You don't sense magic outside, except for the stone head.
Except for the stone head. I would approach that stone head and just kind of look about. Is there any giants protecting that? Is there anything that would impede me from going in that direction?
No, there's no giants protecting it. Actually, one last thing. If you were to detect magic on the outside at number 1, there was magic out there as well, but it depends where you started it.
I guess it also depends on how long did it take in between when I did and when I'm doing it now. Because if that was less than 10 minutes, I'd still have it on in 3.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? So I would be detecting magic the entire time that I was walking. But you know what I mean? I would certainly be casting again, and I would be very interested in that head.
All right.
Just to kind of see what's around.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for the rest of you, obviously you come back into this camp, and you see that Silas is, looking around at things. So you can talk to him if you want. Now, the pool of number 1 has a faint aura of divination magic.
Okay.
And it's an observatory. You can tell that. But the water has divination. Divination magic.
Okay.
So there is an ancient blade over here.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you said. Ancient, and then whatever word you said.
Yeah.
Out.
A blade.
Blade. Okay.
A blade, and there are runes along it. but it's really faded, and you don't detect the. It's very, very, very faint illusion magic coming from the
Okay.
blade,
For
but
sure.
it's
And
like
is that giant
almost.
size?
Hmm.
That's giant sized.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Okay.
massive.
Yeah, yeah.
The head. Let's see. Let's say that it's night when you get back and night when you arrive here. The eyes are glowing blue, and you can detect uh, a form of animation magic. You think that the head can actually talk.
Oh, fantastic.
You don't think that that's necessarily going to be constant. I guess I'll tell you what it is. Basically, each night the head can answer a single question pertaining to the giant civilization of 40,000 years ago.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which is very valuable. And if you were to tell Ulina, the person that you don't recognize in the party, about that, she would flip.
Did they have cheese back in the day? I've got to know.
Beyond that, that's all of the magic that you can detect. So as you see the party and the party sees you, what happens?
Is that the ghost of Silas? I knew he was haunting us.
Yes, Tom. Yes, I'm.
Oh, you caught up.
I'm a shell of myself. You haven't lost any of that, have you, there, Mr. Freeman? It's amazing. Yes. Did you leave me on purpose?
I think it was the other way around.
No, I was tying up some loose ends, like we said we were going to be, and then came to meet you, and you were gone. The school said you left. I mean, I don't know. Did you leave faster than we agreed?
Oh,
Don says maybe, and he's definitely not acting guilty. Nope.
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 Yeah.
They would tell you that Alina was in a massive rush, and she was terribly excited, and she's a giggly little girl at the moment. She's just like drooling over all of this giant stuff. She was here before, but she looks at it. As she walks back into the camp, you see she's starry eyed as she looks at all of the different giant stuff, and she like runs her hands across each of the different things that you've seen and stuff, and she's just like lost again in its wonder. You can see that she's excited.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I don't think I've made your acquaintance.
All right, let's see. So her token is up here. Let me bring you inside here, Silas. You can ask a question in a minute. So Alina, as you can see, is sort of a dark-skinned human woman. Her hair's up in a bun. She's not. She's dressed semi-practically, but she's a scholar more than anything. And so she's dressed practically as a scholar, not as an adventurer. And she will introduce herself. My name is Ulina Pyranim. I am a scholar of Morgrave University, and my area of specialty is giants and the history of giants here on Zendrick. I have been here for some time, and I have recently discovered that this place existed, and your friends, I'm guessing, since they're talking to you as if they know you, agreed to accompany me here, and it was probably I that was at fault as far as when we left. I just couldn't. I couldn't contain my excitement. She says.
I can tell. Yes, this place is fascinating. My name is Silas Phoenix.
Silas Phoenix.
Some of us know. Yeah, some of us know each other better than others here.
He says.
And he kind of gives a side glance to Lana when he says that.
Phoenix.
You know what I mean?
Phoenix.
Lana just kind of gives you a weird look of like, what the hell? How is this relevant? But she just doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
You related to Zara Phoenix?
Yes. You know my mother.
She's your mother. Fan-friggin-tastic.
And why would that be an issue, ma'am?
Let's just say that we were students together.
Wonderful.
And, you know, there might have been a little rivalry back in the day.
Oh, that doesn't sound like that's a problem. But I can assure you, if she was much more aggressive than she's a phoenix like I am, and I'm sorry.
She says, "Oh no, it's not like we were at fisticuffs or anything. Just she was smarter than I was."
She's usually the smartest person in the room. I'm very sorry for
that. She says, "Whatever." Well,
and
nice to meet you, Silas.
Yeah, and he just kind of looks at her and goes, but you do know that the head outside, have you seen that?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Did you talk to it? Because it's magical, and it seems as if maybe it would answer a question or something.
You would be the one to point that out. Fine.
Well, sorry, man, I haven't been around for a while. Gotta do something.
She says, well, please excuse me. She walks out to go and ask her a question.
No, and Silas steps in front of her and goes, oh no, we're gonna do this together.
Together. Bastion speaks up, stepping over as well. Just clear your mind, and he'll cast guidance on her.
She does. She clears her mind.
All she has to do is talk to it there. It's Bastion, right?
Ooh,
Yes.
Donald has guidance too.
Man, this is one guided person.
Alright.
Let the forces of nature direct your question. If it was about the best way to make a grilled cheese, the forces of nature might be grateful as well.
Yes, it was Bastion. That is my name.
You haven't become any less strange, have you, Truman? Lovely to see you again.
Yes. No?
Was that a question?
And he kind of just turns off from him and walks and talks to that woman and tells her what he can perceive of it.
She says, "Oh, but we have two more trials to undertake before they're going to trust us completely."
I don't know what you speak of, man.
They gave us 3 trials. She says the first was to kill a bear, which we kind of did.
Another one is to climb the tallest tree, and that's the one I'm doing.
Yeah, we got to climb the tallest tree and pluck a leaf from the very top, and we also, and she looks at her notes. We also. What was the last one here?
We need to gather food.
That's right. Food for a day.
A night.
Yeah.
Yeah, food for a day for a giant.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I think we just got in honey.
We just gave him. Yeah, we just.
So that trial's covered. All we have to do, I guess, is this last trial, which is gather a leaf from the tallest tree. And she says we have to do so without magic.
I bet the tree's infested with spiders.
Lana just goes, "Could you just not? Don't say things like that."
You've got this, Lana. No problem.
Duh, I'm just saying.
Don't think about it.
I'm just saying, if the bear turned out to be a Fae King, then the tree's going to turn out to be an ent.
An awakened tree?
Don rubs his hands gleefully. We can only hope. Or alternatively, that can be arranged.
Alright. So, are we doing this last trial before we proceed?
I think we have to.
Okay.
We could always quit.
Who wants...
We don't have to do it.
I suppose not, but you know, Alina... If the party decides not to, Alina will try, because she wants to stay here and she wants this knowledge. So, so does Lana want to give this a go?
Yes.
Cool.
She will climb that tree.
It's a 100-foot tall tree.
Excellent.
So, in order to climb this tree... Alright.
16 for the first try.
16. So, in order to climb this tree, as I was going to say, it's going to be, let's see, 2, 4... It's going to be 6 checks.
Okay.
The first of which you've passed. So, make your second check. You are 15 feet up the tree at this stage.
Alright, that's a good one.
Yeah, you are 30 feet up the tree. That's
21.
45 feet up the tree. Yep,
26.
all good.
How many is that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 more.
2 more. That's fine. And your last one.
That is a total of 17.
17, is it? Alright.
Yep.
Sure. You will get to the top of the tree.
And she will pluck.
Yes. You will pluck a leaf from the top of it. Now, how are you going to get down?
Carefully. The same way she got up, just climb back down, basically.
Alright, make me 6 checks. Oh! As she
12.
falls from the tallest part of the tree.
Be able to try and save herself.
Yeah, you can try and save yourself.
Okay, what kind of...
It's a save. Dex save.
Dex save? Alright, cool.
She's coming
that's
down
a
really
20.
quick.
Slip, starts to fall, but catches herself on the second branch down.
Yeah.
Nice little scratch across her arms, and
You are still going to take d6 of damage, but being that that was a critical success, I'm going to say that you managed to get the rest of the way down. So it's just going to be d6. 3
cool.
damage.
She will land on her feet on the ground and hold out that leaf proudly. Go, ta-da!
Yeah, there was no spiders or
Oh, good.
Anything.
That's actually no. That's exactly why she failed that first hit.
She's like,
I'm gonna
ta-da!
go down, spider.
Yeah, that was easy. So you can take everything back to the giants.
Nice job, Lana.
You have enough food for them. You have the top leaf, and you Well, didn't quite. You killed the bear, but not the creature that the bear was. So, I mean,
They
what
they
did.
didn't say for
That
us
could
to
still be
kill the
arranged.
bear. They said for us to drive it off.
Right, so we've driven it off, yeah. Sure, so we report back, and they are thrilled. So they throw you a feast with all of the stuff that you brought back. And
Fae King covered in honey.
amongst other things that they have gathered themselves. And they will allow Alina access to the library, and they will also allow the party access to a runed stone. It has 3 runes on it. They're giant runes, but they will be able to tell you what the runes say. So they point to the first rune, and they say, Sphere of Acid. They point to the second rune and say, Line of Fire, or Inferno Spiral. And they point to the third rune that says Greater Renewal. So we have Acid, Sphere, Inferno, Spiral, and Greater Renewal. They say that one person can only attune to one rune, and when the rune has been attuned to, it is effectively lost from the stone. So only 3 people in total could attune to one rune each. The person would have to be a spellcaster, and you have to pass a check to attune to it. It will be your choices as to if you would like to do that or not. Effectively, these are legendary spells.
Yeah, Silas, upon hearing the Greater Renewal, would certainly walk to it.
Okay.
Now hold on. What are you doing, Silas?
Going to attune to that. Is there a problem?
Yes, you haven't done the 3 trials.
Ooh.
Oh. Wonderful.
I suppose you were only here for the very end of the last one. Yeah. I mean, okay. So how are you?
And he would very kindly step aside and do that, kind of guide you towards the thing with his hand.
Okay.
You're very right, sir. I'm sorry for impeding upon your property.
As it should be. After all,
And-
I am. And he kind of looks to Lana. I am better than him, right?
And then he looks to Lana and goes, I'm going to be outside because I'm not that person anymore. And he walks off and walks away from the room.
Cool. So is there any further
But certainly gives Lana a very stern look.
Is there any further contest for who's going to take the renewal spell? I take
You
this.
2 are welcome to it.
Okay, so right, so I will post it. Actually, I will make. I'm not gonna post it. I'm just gonna make a spell for you between now and next time. I think. Actually, I'll open your character sheet, Bastian. So just don't click around for a second. So
Okay.
it's going to be level 1. I'm going to add it here, and it's going to be greater renewal. It is learn how to spell. It is a conjuration spell. It is an action. It is gained from nothing because we're going to put... I'm just going to put it in the description for now, and we'll figure it out later. So the damage is going to be 2d8 points of damage plus 1d8 per spell level. And then, in addition, sorry, getting this right. In addition, if cast at, sorry, it'll be, so you can instead cast this at a higher level to remove any of the following conditions, 1 per spell level. Spell level, and we have exhausted, fatigued, nauseated, and sickened. You know that the spell resistance spell 1 per following. Spell removes. Okay. Paralyzed, nauseated, fatigued. So fatigued, nauseated, exhausted, sickened, paralyzed. So, yeah, basically, you can cast it at first level to cure 2d8, and it'll be plus your spellcasting modifier. Plus spellcasting modifier. If you cast it at a higher level, you can either add a d8 per spell level, or you can cure any of the following conditions per spell level: exhausted, fatigued, nauseated, sickened, or paralyzed. So it's basically 1 spell level per condition that you're healing. Understand?
Yeah, that makes sense. Don't I have to make a check before I learn it?
Yes, you will. It will be a wisdom save.
All right, let's see if Silas still has a chance.
You're fine. Yep.
That was an amazing statement, by the way, friend. That's all I have to say.
Now, does anyone want to attune to Inferno Spiral or Acid Sphere?
Flame Spiral sounds like a good one for Lana. She's been complaining about not having ranged options.
She would have to pass an arcane check for it. Arcana check.
Ranged options?
Oh no, they're flying. All I can do is backstab.
Fair enough.
What do the last 2 do?
You don't know until you attune to it.
Until you attune to it.
But they're legendary spells, so they're going to do more.
I think if I were to do one, then Inferno Spiral sounds fiery, because that's basically what her little bit of magic is fire and cleaning.
Cool.
Cleaning magic, very effective.
All right. So yeah, I'll put that in for you. And does anyone care about the acid one? Actually, you'll need to pass an Arcana check first.
I think Felice would defer to the more literal magic users in the. I don't think she really sees herself as a magic user, so.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's very old magic, he says from the back of the room. I suggest each one of you take something, saying I'm not allowed.
Huh.
Not allowed yet. You could still pass those trials.
Hey, they're metal man. You keep doing your thing.
Oh,
Well, if no one else is interested, Don will make an attempt.
All right. So both the acid one and the fire one are Arcana checks. So
Arcana check.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Lana's gonna be able to pass that.
Well, you can give it a go, and if you fail, it doesn't matter.
16.
All right. So Don is not going to succeed, but Lana will. And you wanted the fire one, right?
Really? Wow, this is interesting.
Well, Don's a nature caster, so Arcana's not really his thing. Plus, yeah. So yeah, okay. So we've got the Inferno Spiral, and I will give that to Lana.
That's quite a good roll for her.
That is a very good roll. Spell book. We will add. It's going to be Infernal Spiral. Cool name. It is an evocation spell. Cast time 1 action.
That's fair. I don't know why I'm.
These are legendary spells, so technically they don't take a spell slot to cast. Technically, but it's sort of limited to what you can do in a day. But I will let you know as we go. So it's going to be a line of file. Let's just copy and paste. And it's going to be 2d8 points of fire per caster level to each creature within a line of fire, which is 60 feet. 60-foot line. Fire. And its reflex. Oh, it's going to be a dexterity save. The DC is going to be 3 plus proficiency plus intelligence. Well, be 13, I guess. 13 plus proficiency plus intelligence. And it does 2d8. Yep, we've got that. If it is sufficient to burn through a barrier that blocks the path, continues if its range permits, otherwise stops at the barrier. I'm just going to say, yeah, that'll be fine. Combust objects. Cool.
Is this something you could give them like afterwards?
What do you mean?
So we can do more story.
I've finished, so.
Okay, cool.
Felice decides, well, I don't want these to go to waste, so I'll give it a try after all.
All right.
And she does, and you see her result.
It's an Arcana check.
Yeah, I did it.
21.
21, sure. Yeah. That's a good idea. I'll put it in for you after.
Sounds good.
So, effectively, your reward is, and let me find it here while we go. Your reward is that, and obviously access to the library. And I will also give everyone this. Hero's Feast, as the Giants will set this up for you guys. So you are cured of all diseases and poison. You are all immune to poison, and you are all immune to being frightened. And you make all wisdom saving throws with advantage, and your hit point maximum is increased by 2d10, which is 14. And these are for the next 24 hours.
Were we able to have a short rest before this?
Well, yeah, effectively coming back here means that you can even have a long rest. Is fine.
Excellent.
As you are more than welcome here. You've passed the Giants' trials. Alina is going to stay here and study things. Was there any particular question that Silas was interested in learning about Giants' history from 40,000 years ago?
Not really.
Okay, well, we will...
You know what I mean? I thought you might already just wanted part of anything that you were going to give.
I mean, if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. So Silas would not be interested in this meal because apparently he's not welcome. And so
Lana, like, oh my gosh, just freaking eat. Look, you're here. You might as well just enjoy it.
I would hate to be a bother to your new friends, there, Lana.
Whoa. You know, you're not gonna make good friends with them either if you keep like sulking.
I'm not that man anymore, and I'm going to go look at this relic here. You enjoy yourself. And it's not at all. I mean, it's 100% very genuine. He's not snarky like he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He is. You know what I mean? He's just. He's not a part of this, and that's fine with him. And yes, he would get with, what's that woman's name again?
Alina.
And say, well, I think that's very interesting that you might be able to find something that is pertinent to all of this, and maybe even to us.
Don't screw this up.
Yeah, and what I would like to ask it is to see if there's ever been a calamity towards the world from even that far back, to see if this is something that is reoccurring.
If there's ever been a calamity to the world,
like what seems to be starting right now, you know, with all of the.
The head will answer that the denizens of Delcor,
and he knows what that is,
spread throughout Eberron in an effort to destroy it. And that is the reason why all of these races had to band together, the elves and the dragons and so forth, to banish Delcor away from being coterminous to the depths of space.
Yeah, and Silas would look at Alina and says, "It's happening again."
She says,
"There's a lot of studying, I believe, that you could bring from this place. There's not a competition between you and anybody with the name Phoenix any longer. Let's work together.
She said, I don't know how this would be. Delcor has not been conterminous for millennia, and I don't understand how it could be. Again, I'd have to
do a lot of research.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I don't think I'm the woman for that. She says, look, my expertise is in giant history, not demons from another realm.
But you do work with people that would understand that well, don't you?
Well, yeah, I have connections.
And if you brought this type of information, think of where that might lead you.
Indeed. Yes, very well. Once I've finished up my research here, I will contact my contacts and see what I can do. In the meantime, she'll give you a name that you can go back with, and I'll come up with that in a bit here.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, and he would go back to where the group is. Again, not partaking, so he doesn't get any of those benefits, and waits for he'll sleep and so on and so forth, but he's not going to partake in that.
All right, cool. Well, you've got the long rest. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. All right. For those that are in the feast, do you want to roleplay anything, or shall we just take you back to Stormreach?
Actually, yeah. No, wait. I'm sorry. I'm reading messages. Does she say that outwardly?
Oh yeah, she was saying that, but you were off talking with the one person.
Oh no,
she says this as soon as she marches off, and was like, "Oh my gosh, what a whiner!" Blah 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 blah. Gets left out. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, he kind of has a reason to feel left out. Like not, and so it's like, but yeah, and so like if he joins back with, like she'd make another attempt, be like, "Dude, it's the least you can do is enjoy this because we did leave without you, and I think that's not exactly fair that we did that. So enjoy yourself because yeah.
Because
It's not exactly your fault that you didn't get to participate in the first event thing. So and I have no idea what everyone else is saying, but yeah, Lana's just kind of gonna make this better.
Silas would say, "Will you come here and speak to me, please?" Away from there.
Wait,
oh
what?
Man.
No, there's
Silas, come sit with me. We barely know each other. Why don't we get to know each other? And
what were those 4 weeks on the boat about?
I wasn't here for any of that. There, you know what I mean? You gotta remember. And that whole sailing thing, I had nothing to do with that.
You know what? I'm gonna as the GM intercede here. So the giants one of the giants will kneel and lay his elbows on the ground and look Silas in the eye. And the giant will say, "These are your friends. These passed the test. If they trust you, so do we. Sit down and have a good meal."
I just had an image of the genie from Aladdin. Now sit down! Okay, accessory. Here. Keep your arms in and get out of here. Anyway.
Very well. And he does go sit over near Felice as she invited him.
Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, so you guys
I'll play
have
ball.
That's the spirit.
this feast. Cool. Well, I know that a couple of you want a couple of minute break to feed cats, get water, whatever else. I know that a few of you need to finish early, which was 8 o'clock, wasn't it?
No, we don't need to be done till really till 50 minutes from now or so.
Yeah. So 8 o'clock, right? So would it be okay if we just keep going then, and because we're finishing early, would that suit you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good. I already excused myself and took care of the
All right.
beast.
So very good. We will keep going. Elena stays with the giants and sends you back with the name of a contact that you can talk to about Delcor and that sort of thing. We also have all of the leads that she gave us in regards to the Dream Serpents.
What do we do with the Fae King?
Well, first of all, Bastion, though he knows it won't work, will try casting Greater Renewal on the Fae King to cure him of his madness.
Okay. It is a legendary spell. So here's what will happen. If you use your highest level spell slot, I'll allow it.
All right, I'll use it.
Then for at least a while. So this is basically going to stop the progression of the madness. It's not going to completely cure him, but it's going to stop the progression of it so that he can at least be of this mind until he gets properly seen to, which is going to take something close to a wish spell to accomplish. So effectively, as far as the campaign's concerned, he's effectively cured. He's just it'll take him a little bit longer to come to the conclusion that he would of his right mind, which effectively is just me narrating. It takes him a little bit longer, but that's about it. So effectively, he's cured.
Awesome.
But he's still a little bit flaky. There's some stuff that he still doesn't remember. But on the whole, I'm not going to penalize you or anything because you've used your high spell slot. So the best that you can do is what you've done, which is awesome because he's able to help out a lot. He can actually cast a legendary spell of his own and find out what the fuck is going on.
I like the name of that spell.
I want to mark that one down. Can I mark that one down?
So Bastion will go to Felice and tell her, I've used the spell that I gained from the stone on him, Greater Renewal, and it seems to have at least slowed his progression into madness.
Right. So, are we ready for an info dump?
Bastion, thank you.
We got
Don't make me knock him out again.
We got our notes ready. Oh my gosh! All right. So. This is what the Fae King can tell us. So some of this is not going to be everything, mind you. This is what he can tell us based on his knowledge and based on what he gets from this legendary spell. So, The Yuan-Ti. Let's start with them. The Yuan-Ti worship a god they call, well, that is known as the Devourer. The Yuan-Ti do not call him the Devourer, but that is what the citizens of Eberron know the god as. Once upon a time, the Yuan-Ti ruled side by side with the giants, but the giants betrayed them and drove them away. The prophecies of the Yuan-Ti explain that the Devourer would one day be born into the realm of men, or of mortals, and that this would happen by connection to the realm of dreams, i.e. Dalcor. Since then, the Yuan-Ti have been living their lives waiting for their prophecy to be fulfilled. So that's a little bit about what's going on there. The realm, Dalcor is known as the realm of dreams, and the Fae King will be able to sort of say that probably the reason for all of this nightmarish shit that's been going on is probably because something to do with maybe someone's trying to create a passageway between Dalcor and Eberron somehow. He agrees with Ulina that the best place to start would probably be the Dream Serpents. He doesn't know how that would happen because he doesn't know that form of magic. He says that the Kori are evil outsiders that want revenge against the dragons and to once more have access to Eberron. They are currently on Dalcor and don't have access to Eberron unless a gateway would be opened between Eberron and Dalcor. The Kori apparently have or had an alliance with the Yuan-Ti, who are trying to open the gateway, probably. The Fae King's vision sort of goes foggy a little bit, and he says, I don't know who, but someone, a woman, I think, female, has also allied with the Yuan-Ti for some reason. And he says, I don't see through the Fae enough to figure out why she is or who she is. All I can tell is that she's a being of great power, not a god. And then he sort of says, but what I do see is a forge of creation in our future, if she was to succeed. Don't see what purpose that would have, but creating something that doesn't bode very well. This same woman is allied to the Drow, he says. She's allied to the Drow and to the Yuan-Ti, and he's like questioning himself, and he's like, really? Who is this woman? And he's like, she's helping the Drow defend their city, their underground cities, against the Umbra, which are basically a massive army of bad things. Yeah. I'm. So, whoever she is bad news. Would you happen to know who she is? She says and asks the question of the party. Do you know of a woman that would have great power that would want to try to be allied to the UNT and to the Drow? He says and looks at the party.
Lana, you're a woman.
Lana just kind of goes, yes. And then to Dawn and Silas, like, Kari? Just, like, she got out of that Yuanti situation. I don't know if she has any relations to Drow.
I don't know. And maybe
Yes, very observant, Bastion. Good job.
And he's always so on point.
I don't know.
Yes, I think. Do you? I haven't seen her since she left my home. So angry.
She pops up here and there, but not a lot.
She's currently the crew of an airship allied to the far east of Eberron, very far away from Shan. She did visit very briefly Shan, but she left with the captain.
Very interesting. Well, then I guess it's probably not her.
Yeah,
and
probably.
I think this is a much more ancient person than her.
Yeah, it probably seems that way. He does say that this person is old. Very, very old. And he says, you know what I do see? I see an emerald phylactery.
That woman that we talked to at the university, the Sphinx, had... But she helped us. It can't be her. Nah.
The Sphinx had a vision or a prediction.
That's right, because she saw...
Foretelling. It's a foretelling that said something about an emerald phylactery.
Oh, okay, that's right.
That information is in your journals too, which is under Flamewind's prophecies in the handouts. So Flamewind's prophecies again, for those that didn't hear them, a pathway generations closed has started to open again. That sort of makes sense a little bit more now.
Oh, yeah.
An ancient civilization is rising from the depths of obscurity. That makes more sense now. A phylactery has recently been rehidden, emerald in color. We don't know whose it is, but we know it's by a woman, and that she's allied with the UNT as well as the Drow. The dragon prophecy speaks about gods walking the mortal realm. There we go again. So that's been cleared up. We know now that that is the god of the UNT, that we know as the Devourer. Somewhere in Zendrick, a Fae blood descendant has been marked. We don't know what that is. The history of giant-born magic will be unearthed. We're getting a little bit of that here. And the way to Zendrick is fraught with perils that you will overcome. We already discovered that on our way here. And then seek the Serpent of Many Colors. There you will find some answers in relation to the dreams and their connection with Zendrick. We're on our path, but we haven't unraveled that just yet. So there's a few things there
Yeah.
that are a bit clearer now. Perhaps not fully answered, but we have some basis as to what the fuck's going on.
Ha! I knew! The gutter serpents. They're the key to the UNT. There's rumors that some of them look like snakes. If we could track them down, we could track down the dreaming serpents. Follow the trail back to its source, like a river up the mountain.
Well, in fact, Olena has given us the location of a dream serpent breeding ground. So.
Oh, goody. That sounds lovely.
Or at least, sorry, it would be she hasn't given us the location, but the person that she has told us to go see will as soon as we see them. So effectively, she gives it to us through him. But
Well,
yes.
where's this person?
In Stormreach. I'm just trying to find the name. Sorry. Where are we? This one. It will be. Sorry. That was her. Where are we? Dart? Is it Dart? No, it's not Dart. No. Got so many notes here. Sorry. So that was Alina. She says Eric would be the person to go and see. We've already gone and seen him once. He was the not so nice ex-hunter that has become a taxidermist. But Eric is the one that would know where their breeding grounds are. He's a hunter of pretty great renown. Even if you don't like him, he'll at least have that information. And it's gone quiet.
Gears are just busily.
You're like, how
You
are they?
literally see the gears turning in Bastion's head.
Yeah.
You know, we could go back for more, honey.
Don't call me honey. We're not that close. Bastion.
All right. Sorry for the information dump. Have we taken it down? I will obviously make a handout after the session about what we've learned.
There's a lot of information on that, buddy.
Yes, I'm aware. I wrote this campaign.
Wow. I'm sorry. You asked us. You broke up a little bit as you were asking us whatever.
Yeah.
question that
So
was.
I mean, what's next? I guess we know that Ereg, the hunter, this taxidermist will know where the breeding ground of the dream serpents are. So we can go back to Stormreach.
Yeah.
For that.
Where do you know that person? I just
Sounds like that's what we need to do.
Bastion
Lana,
raises his
we are going
hand.
to find those dream snakes. We're going to kill them all for doing their dream voodoo, whatever.
Wait, the taxidermist? The same one who we decided was super sketchy and would probably get us killed as soon as help us?
Yes, the very same one.
Oh, this is just going to be a grand time, isn't it?
Oh, it's gonna be great. No one said that this campaign was gonna be easy.
So Bastion raises a hand and he says, "We came here in an airship. how do we get back in an airship?
Well, the airship
How will
is.
they know we're back?
The airship is still docked where we left it.
You mean they're just waiting for us?
Right. Yeah.
Well, they're probably on fire and full of arrows from locals by now, but yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm not looking forward to going back to that egg hatchery thing.
Oh. You mean the eggs for the creatures? If we just avoid it,
Yeah, how did you like that?
I didn't have any issues at all. I
You
wish
survived?
I wish them.
Maybe you're stronger than I thought.
Yes, probably better than you.
Oh!
But because I have the White Phoenix on my side and not just a bunch of gears inside me made by a person.
Wow.
But that's okay.
Lana is going to exit the room as the cooking contest happens again.
But this is what, is probably the answer, is that if we are respectful to them.
Respectful. I mean, someone's got to be, right?
I just gave them good words and prayed to the White Phoenix, and it was very easy to get through there.
Oh, so you've taken the level of druid. That's awesome.
No,
No,
I'm a paladin. If you ever took 2 minutes to talk to me, Lana.
Oh, snap. This is, oh, wait.
Says, if Lana is going to says the one who was like, where's your sense of adventure back in that stupid island, and you avoided the whole thing. And she is out the door.
I avoided it. You can't say Silas avoided that. My computer broke. I'm sorry.
And this is me purposely taking what was out of your control and just spitting with it because, yeah, we finished the game without Silas, and so...
Thank you so much for that. But, yes.
Do you think Lana would mind if I finished her honeycomb for her? She kind of just left.
Yeah, you should eat that, Don.
Yeah.
And Silas gets up as he would and follows her out.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, okay.
Stop running away from me, Lana.
I'm not running away. I am walking. You can catch up. What do you want? What's going on back there? Like, you seem so angsty. I don't know. It just, like, sorry we left without you.
It's the exact opposite of angst, actually, Lana. I'm not angry at any of you. But the company that you're keeping.
Sorry.
Whoa.
I don't know if you and the company you're keeping are the bunch of assholes you're talking about, but that's no longer me.
Dawn is Dawn. Bastion, he's quirky, and I like quirky. And Felice, she is a sweetheart. You just need to get to know her.
I completely agree to that, but it's there's a lot of tension here. It seems.
I think it makes sense why there's so much tension. We are miles, thousands of miles from home. We've been away for so long. Like, of course, we're stressed out in a foreign land and we don't even really have much answers yet, and it's going terribly slow.
I agree. So let's accelerate that. It's absolutely wonderful. But running away like you always do, Lana, not gonna help us. So
Lana's biting her tongue so hard.
And he's very serene. It's not. I mean, it's so probably maddening, like it was at the end of the the first campaign, of how different he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
That he's like, just let's go back into the room and figure this out then. That woman, please.
We did. We're going to go back to Stormreach to talk to the taxidermist.
Would he have been there for that, Matt?
I mean, you probably got word from the party that they were doing that. You didn't meet him, but
Okay.
you know about it. So
Yeah.
you know it didn't go especially well, and especially I think you would know that Lana seemed maybe humiliated.
Does cheese travel? Oh my gosh.
She probably just sees him as really rude. But yeah, I think you would see a little bit of humiliation. She wouldn't show you much, but I think that you saw enough to know.
Willing to swallow her pride if it means it gives them answers. And
Right.
she's not going to
Absolutely.
talk this time.
So, well, then let's be on our way.
Yes, I agree.
Indeed.
And he turns around about face and back to it.
All right, so you guys can make it back to the airship and back to back to Stormreach, without anything bad happening.
Thank goodness. Oh.
All right. So, and obviously we've had a long rest. It takes, you know, a week to get back. We know that. Then we get to go and see Eric. Because we love him so much.
Is the Fae King still with us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. I love it. Do we have to dress him up, guys?
Probably the best place. Sorry. Someone's echoing me. And echoing others. I think it's Corey?
Yeah, I think it is too. Give me a second.
Yeah. Cool. Now I can speak without hearing myself. So I think the best thing that we can do, Bastion has already cast a fairly high level spell on him. I think the best that we could do is make him comfortable in Stormreach. Certainly there is there are temples that would accept the responsibility of taking care of him in a safe manner for everybody. This would probably be in a magic dampened room so that he couldn't, you know, maybe cast spells to do something mad. And they
So essentially, we're putting him in a padded room.
Yeah, but I mean, he'll be well looked after. He'll be fed, and he'll be, you know, it can even be there can even be an outside area that he can walk in each day. They've got a little grove, like there'll be a little druid's grove that that they can dampen to magic that he can walk through each day. But yeah, or they can just they can cast a spell on him to quell his magic so that he can't cast. Just in case he does something nuts. So let's do that then. Let's cast a spell on him. They'll actually put so it'll be braces that they put on him, and the braces won't be able to be removed by him, and basically they just stop him casting magic, and then he'll be allowed to walk around and talk with people, although he is a bit, you know, old man crazy-ish, but at least it's not degenerating. So sometimes he'll wander off and then, you know, come to and come back. He's not going to be in danger in Stormreach, and you can come and see him if you've got any questions and stuff. But you know, it's not in the realms of this campaign to have him with the party long term. So
I like my Fae King crutch.
I'm sure you do.
I'm just pulling your leg, DM. So it sounds like he'll be taken care of, and it doesn't necessarily cost us money. There's already a system in place for crazy
like
Fae
there's no
Kings.
reason for me to. Yeah, there's a system in place for.
You'd be surprised. There's quite the community.
Well, you guys would spin a story or whatever else. It doesn't matter what it is. Like we can just say it happens. So, it's not a problem. So, coming into Eric's shop, Silas, this will be your first time there. So, the first thing that you notice is that he's a taxidermist. The animals that he has taxidermied are like pristine, gorgeous. They are like standout prime quality examples of their kinds. Absolutely. And there's many of them that are full taxidermied bodies, not just, mounted head or whatever else. And they're exceptional quality. So it's very clear from the outset that or at least for a time, he was an exceptional hunter. And he had an eye for detail, and he still does in his taxidermist work. The second thing that you notice is that he's a scumbag. But that brings us to chatting with him. So what do we want to say? And who's going to be doing the talking? Because I know last time it didn't go so well for Lana.
Maybe we should plan this out before we go into the shop a little bit.
The plan is, I say nothing.
Wasn't that the plan last time? And then you asked, if we can transport cheese.
Yeah. Well, I was like, you guys got this, right? I'm just gonna go down that way and see if I can have a better chance at making people smile. And as says, she's gonna go play with her hoop and dance and.
Cool. All right, you can do that. For those that do go into the taxidermist, the ones that he recognizes, he will look up from his work and remember last time he was writing something down, or so he was working, and he looked up for like a mere second before looking down at his work. This time he looks up for a mere second, his eyebrow cocks, and then he looks down at his work again and is like, "Oh, you survived, I see. Congratulations. What can I do for you?"
We did quite well for ourselves. It was quite the refreshing jaunt through the jungle, if I might say so myself.
I'm sure it
One
was. Well, welcome to my shop. Yeah, what can I...
And you are?
My name is Eric, hunter extraordinaire. These are just some of my prizes. There's more in the back.
Yeah, they're extraordinary.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. So seeing that you're such a great hunter, we're looking to hunt something.
Oh, excellent.
Is that something we could hire you for?
Hire me for? No, I'm retired. This is my work now, but I can probably give you some tips. I did last time. It helped that little girl.
Yes. Well, we're hunting dream. What are they called?
Dream serpents.
Dream serpents.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can help you out with that. Here, look. And I'll
have you ever?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever processed one?
Processed one? I mean...
Yeah, to the beautiful artwork you make afterwards.
Yes. I've got a few here in the back of the shop. They're not terribly popular, mind you.
Well, just so we could see one.
by all means, coming back.
And Silas would just kind of look at the rest of the group and not even snotty or anything, and just kind of, again, gesture that they should walk in.
Right, so yeah, you go in the back, and there's like hundreds of different things, including there's, I'll say, 3 or 4 various length, full length dream serpents. They're serpents of many colored scales. He says, I remember just as I was finishing adventuring, I did hear about a very elusive dream serpent that unfortunately I never got to hunt. And they called the legends called it the Androgini. They say, the legends say that its scales are unparalleled, except by its size. And they say that its gullet can transmute living flesh into something amazing. Unfortunately, I never got to hunt it because I retired. But man, that would be a prize worth writing home about.
How many diamonds would you be able to pay for it?
I don't think you would be able to carry it, sir. Even if it was destroyed. So he describes a gargantuan creature.
Okay. Yeah. So
Do I need a bigger?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I need a bigger boat. Well, do you know of any younger hunters that may be able to guide us there?
He says, perhaps. I mean, you'd have to pay them.
Of course.
I can do some digging for you, but you know. And
Oh no, that's okay. We don't need any trenches.
He gestures with his head, as if to say, I'll need something up front for this.
Well, how long would you need to gather that type of information?
He says it depends how generous you are.
And Silas reaches into his pack and takes out, I don't know. He's quite wealthy, Matt. How much can I give him? And I'm not trying to say that to sound silly.
I gave
I will
you a
grease the
bunch
wheel to
of
make it
gold.
something go quick.
I mean, let's say you can give him like 10 platinum, which is equivalent to 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold, yeah. He would, Silas can generate that kind of coin, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you all had multi-thousands. I can't remember how much.
And then what he married into, it's money. So like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. So yeah. Yes, you can give him 1,000 platinum. Yeah. 1,000 gold in platinum. Yeah. As you count them out, you count out 3, right? And he starts to nod. Then you continue to count. All right, 5, 6. He sort of looks up at you. You continue to count. 9,
Yeah.
10. And he's like, okay, I'll just close up shop and you can come back at the end of the day.
So, my friend, this is gonna be this though. I'll leave 5 of these here, and when the information is proper, I'll give you the rest.
I mean,
I have it.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay. You have a good day. I'll see you in the morning.
All right, see you in the morning.
And Silas will exit.
Okay, anyone else want to talk to him?
Nah, Don's good.
All right, he'll go and find a hunter for you.
So, Silas, why'd you give him all that currency?
Because sometimes you have to grease the wheels per se.
Well, it sounded like you're giving it to him so he'd find us a hunter. But we're
Yeah,
not actually hunting.
But we have to find it, Don.
Yeah.
And if there's somebody that has experience in that, it would expedite the situation. My children are ill, Don. And he just looks at you and taps you on the shoulder a couple times and
Probably would have been a much cheaper option to just ask him for a location and then we could go hire a generic guide. But hey, it's your gold.
Well, given what's taking place as in a transaction, it'll be a very skilled guide indeed. So, I mean, otherwise you would have just gotten a location. So,
Yeah. Silas is very happy to pay for that.
okay.
Don't underestimate the value of a good guide. I think that's great. I'm glad you could do that for us, Silas.
No problem for this.
So,
Well, this can't be more dangerous than having gone off to find the giants.
Well, we didn't exactly go alone there either, did we? We knew.
Didn't cost us several thousand gold to go there either.
Didn't cost
Well,
you
it didn't
anything,
cost
Don.
us several thousand gold now either. It only cost Silas. I'm good with that.
I'm just trying to look out for my buddy.
Oh, we're buddies now, Truman. That's something new.
Well,
Felice rolls her eyes and goes out.
Yeah. And this whole like conversation has happened is slightly browsing the store as he's like.
All right. So pretty much this is the time that you guys need to start thinking about heading off. So I think this is as good a place as any to wrap up this session. You will have a skilled hunter that knows the location of the breeding grounds of the dream serpents for next time. This skilled hunter will also be invested in potentially finding the Androgini if you guys allow it, but if you do not, then that'll be okay. And we will resume next time heading out after, refreshing all of our provisions and things like that, making sure that we have everything that we need, and starting on that hunt. Thanks, guys, for playing, and I hope you have a fun game next for whoever is part of that. I think it's just Corey and Mary, I think.
Mary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun with that, guys. And yeah, we'll catch you in a couple of weeks. We'll keep our message board active as to which time slot it's going to be, the earlier or the later, depending on who's working or whatever happens. But we'll be around this time in a couple of weeks. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, well, actually, a couple weeks is that kind.
Yep.
Right, yes. So.
Sorry.
And
We will one day return
yes.
and find out just how well Lana was dancing while they were gathering information.
Yes, indeed.
Roll for one.
Anyways.
See,
So I
you just come
think-
across the pond, Matt, and then we could do it live. 'Cause then we'd all be.
I'll just come all the way there, shall I?
Yeah, why not?
Oh my god!
Sure.
Oh
That
my
would
god!
be so sick.
We had
That
somebody
would be
from
like-
Thailand the last 2 years.
I
Why not
mean,
Australia?
And Ireland.
Yeah.
even if someone paid for me to get over there, I don't even have my passport, so.
Oh, you cut out.
That's-
Even if someone paid for it.
I don't have my passport.
Oh, okay.
Oh no! You got my problem. I
He's
gotta
an
get one.
Not enough time now. So according to my calendar, the next 13th of July.
Yeah, like a
I
home
want
run.
to make sure.
There's something happening that day. Oh no, we should be good. We're good.
Yeah. Sweet.
It might be an interesting time for me, because that might be when I'm moving. But I'll figure it out. I mean, this is a priority, so we'll get it done.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Or
Well-
could we look at the 6th? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that
Mary
is.
and I are going to be
No.
camping or something.
Oh, will you be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
All
what
right.
about next week? I'm not saying it sounds silly.
I can't.
You can't? Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just just looking.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where you sort of
Scheduling sucks.
schedule around stuff. But anyway, I'm going to stop recording now, and if we want to debrief more, we can.
And you can just cut that part out.